This is Jackie with All Access, and I'm here with Chris and Rob from Enter Shikari. It is their very first day of Vans Warped Tour this year. Gentlemen, welcome. But this is definitely not your first time around at doing pretty much of anything. You guys have been a band for 11 years, at least 11 years. Yeah. What do you attribute to your guys' longevity?
I tell you, it's hard to. Yeah, we have no idea. No, I don't know. I mean, it's just we just always enjoy touring so much, and we work hard at it. And and we try and write as original music as we can. I think that's all we can do.
And you guys sort of were the pioneers of meshing the hardcore rock with the digital techno electronic. Who came up with that idea? Who started it? How did you start playing around with that?
It developed quite slowly, because the first bit of electronics that we had in our music was more kind of soundscapey, weird, eerie noises. And then we just kind of developed it more and more, and it kind of integrated and became more of like an integral part of our sound, until it just, our what we were listening to changed. When we were kids growing up, we listened to a lot more rock music, but then we got into the dance scene, and so that started coming out in our, that's what we were getting influenced by, so it's what we started producing.
And what music did you listen to growing up?
Well, yeah, all sorts, really. I mean, we were obviously into like Rage Against the Machine, stuff like Refused, but really we were lucky enough to have a really strong local scene. So we were just on the outskirts of London, so we had tons of bands that would either come to us, or we could just get hop on a train for 20 minutes and go and see. So a lot of them never made it, the ones we were really into. But the likes of Cry for Silence, Sick, Aconite Thrill, I'm sure these are names that not a lot of people will know, but to us they were really, really integral to the way we toured and our development. Yeah.
As people.
How do you guys now manage to stand out in what now feels like an oversaturated hardcore electronic scene?
Yeah, it really is. We kind of just keep trying to push ourselves so much, and we're always listening to new music that's coming out, new electronic music, new sounds, new set of ideas creatively, and just try to keep pushing the boundaries as much as possible. A lot of the bands that are doing it kind of just stay in their safe bubble of rock and electronic mix kind of thing, but we really try to, we're not afraid to, piss people off or something with what we're writing, so I think that helps.
You start to notice as well when something's being done again and again. So it's like, when we start noticing that, it's like, well, maybe we won't do that now. We'll do something else. So
I appreciate that, because not everybody does that. You've been touring to support a flash flood of color for quite a while. Tell me about the writing process moving forward. When can fans expect new music?
Well, we've actually just finished recording the next album. Album number 4, yet untitled at the moment. We recorded that in Lincolnshire, a really nice studio in the UK.
It's in the middle of the country in a converted chapel. Absolutely in the middle of nowhere. You don't even get phone signal. There's not a pub in walking distance or anything. So it's pretty isolated, but perfect place to kind of focus. And we're all sort of got healthy. We all went out for country walks and running every day, and just sort of really got absorbed with the album. So that's going to be released in January.
What's the writing process like? Have you been writing all along, or did you just sit there in that chapel and say, all right, let's play around with something? How does a song get started for you guys?
Well, we're lucky in the fact that we've never really had a lack of ideas. I think it would be really...
Raoul's does a lot. Machine that just churns out spewing creative juices like left, right and centre. He never stops.
So, I mean, even from stuff that we haven't used on previous albums, we revamp that. But really, we work quite electronically at first, and we started recording our own demos. And so Raoul will come to us with an idea, and we'll each take it and work on our own parts, and then come together. We'll develop a load of songs and come the album time, we'll pick the strongest ones and we'll go in and focus on them, really.
So we were actually working on the album 6 months before, well, 5 months before we went into the studio, just at home, like in our houses, either by ourselves on our laptop or we'd all get together and sort of work stuff through.
And that's coming out in January, you said. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So now you're here. Didn't say which year. Fair enough. So now it's your first day at Warped Tour. How do you guys make sure that you get the kids' attention? I mean, there's a lot of bands going on, and teenagers are not known for having long attention spans.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, we're just kind of have to go up there and kind of suss it out as we go along. I think I mean, we're going to start with some older songs, so hopefully that'll grab some people's attentions. And yeah, really, I mean, it's a learning curve for us as well, you know. So we don't want to go out there and you go, oh motherfuckers, you know, get over here. We don't want to
Some bands do that. They'd yell and tell people.
Rude. Polite English boys.
Yeah, so could you come over here, please? We're about to start our set.
You should do that.
Awfully.
Yeah. We've travelled a very long way. It would be most kind of you to come over.
Where were you previously? You were touring, you said, in Russia, I believe?
Yeah. We just before we flew out, we did a week in Russia, 4 shows. We did Moscow, Krasnodar, Rostov-on-Don, and St. Petersburg. It's pretty cool out there.
And I can't help but notice your map of the U.S. or of the country, the world rather. Are your tattoos a collection of where you've been, or do you go to one artist specifically?
No, well, actually, most of my tattoos I got whilst touring in America, funnily enough. Most of them are kind of just spur of the moment things that I wanted to get. The idea with this is in touring America, I find it's like a bit of a fashion going on for people to get the outline of their state drawn. So I kind of is partly that. And I liked the idea of having the world on because I like travelling and I like to see as much as the world as possible. So that's kind of where I was going with that. Funnily enough, first time I ever saw this design was 2 years ago at this Warped Tour in Scranton. Backstage, I saw a girl had it on her arm there. And I thought, that's really cool. So I copied her, yeah.
You copied a girl's tattoo. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all right.
It's all right. He's got on his arm too. Fair enough. What sort of instruments did you guys play growing up?
I started off learning the piano, but I was very young then, so I quite quickly got a bit bored.
Was that by force or by choice?
Well, my sister was doing it, so anything she did, I could do better, you know. And then when I was about 11, I started playing electric guitar, 6-string, and then started messing around with Raoul. And Rob as well was the only drummer we knew. So we got started really young, just kind of jamming around and learning covers and stuff like that.
First instrument I learned was the recorder. Oh yeah. We all had to learn it. We all had to learn it in our primary school. Yeah. Do 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 do. Yeah.
Now that's hardcore. So what's up next for you guys after Warped Tour?
We got a couple of festivals coming up. We got one in the UK, which is a big one called Reading and Leeds Festival. And then I don't know how much we've actually announced, but we got a whole load of touring planned, which is going to take us right up to 2016. So,
well, stay tuned for more from the very busy Enter Shikari. Fingers crossed for a January release of new music. Stay tuned for more. This is Jackie. Thanks to All Access and In the Key of Change.